And I wanted this to be meeting mode so that we could see each other and just have a great conversation, because I said this is a whole group discussion about Influence 17. I am Carol Copeland Thomas, your facilitator for this evening, and I'm excited because we're going to have a power-packed 1 hour and 10-minute session about what happened, what you learned, what resources really just caught your wow factor, and how you're going to move forward because of what had happened at the National Speakers Association National Convention called Influence 17. We have a number of exciting people who are here who were actually a part of that experience. Let me just set the stage for you and then throw out some questions, throw out some ideas, and then we'll have a discussion about it. This is the national meeting for our industry that takes place every year for some who may be guests on this program. I've gone to maybe 20 or so, give or take a few, national conferences since I joined in 1995. I've missed a couple, but I haven't missed that many. And I now certainly vow to not miss any going forward because of its importance. The thing about the national conference is that it gives you the clarity, additional confidence, and you know what's going on in the industry as a result of going to this conference. It is an investment more than an expense. And I really look at it that way. And I think that really is the appropriate way to look at it. There are countless workshops, general session speakers that we'll talk about, and ways where you can network and learn even when you're going from one place to the other. I love all the hall conversations. In my small group with our mastermind that we just had, Willie Sparks was talking about a conversation he had with Candace Fitzpatrick Marquesa, and that turned from a lunch engagement into a 3-hour meeting. That's what happens at Influence. So it's an opportunity for you to reconnect, to be seen, to see other people, to learn obviously from those who are on the main stage or in the breakout sessions, and also to just make your business better because you have all the tools and the resources that you need to really take them forward. You can certainly go online. Hello to everyone who is joining us now. You can go online and see all of the workshops and sessions that took place. This is what our promotional brochure looked like. And then our actual brochure looked like this, spiral bound, which was really easy to maneuver and navigate. They had some pocket folders inside. So I have a lot of notes that I took that are in there, and this is going to be a really good reminder to go back to. Now, let me take you, I'm going to share my screen for a second before I open it up to the groups, and I want to show you my website, my name, carolcopelandthomas.com, principally because I have 2 pages set up on my website with lots of pictures. So if you weren't there, or if you were there, I'd love for you to go check it out. You can download any of the pictures. I'm not concerned about that. There's video there as well. So if you weren't there and you say, oh, I'm not really sure about this, go and check out these pictures. You can see our group. I'm scrolling that up. Hopefully you'll see that. That's our big group. And we actually had people who had already left the room when this picture was taken. But it's an opportunity for you to see how Black NSA operates. This is the Black NSA page on my website. So I have some video here. I have lots of video here that'll take you through the program itself, and then pictures that are in albums. So if they're not all bunched together, you can go day by day and see the events and govern yourself accordingly. So there's Marquesa there, and Ann McNeil. There you are. And I have pictures of Shirley T there and others. There's Robert Kennedy, who's not with us tonight, and Tony Chapman and Teresa McLeod. So there are lots of folks, and Tanya Morris as well. So these were the head honchos, these folks who ran Black NSA. So you'll have a chance to relive that experience. And there's Marquesa, and that's her session that she ran. about the life of a profitable virtual speaker. Speakerpreneur. I should change that, should I? Or is that the correct
No,
title?
that's correct. That's
That's the
correct.
correct title. Okay. All right. So you can see some of those action shots. And there she is. There's a video clip. And then Black NSA met on Wednesday, July 12th, where we had our strategic session, town hall meeting, mastermind group. And these are all the players who were a part of that. So again, there are lots of photos and videos that you'll be able to play at the website. So that's Black NSA. There were so many pictures that I took of that. I separated out the page. Then there's NSA, and the same format is true. So again, I give a little caption here about what NSA is and how you can get to the website. This is a friend of mine, Carol Spears, who talks about what's going on internationally. She speaks a lot in the Middle East, and she's telling me real time about what's taking place in the UK and elsewhere. And this is Jean Shore, who I roomed with last year, so we had a chance to get caught up this year. But again, we had a wonderful, the Power Women had a really fun masquerade party where you dressed up in like a power woman. And so you had lots of costumes there, and they had a contest as well, video, so you'll see people dancing as well. And this is Alicia Latson, who was part of my chapter, NSA New England. She is now a newly minted CSP, so I wanted to put her there. And in our mastermind group is also William Thompson, T, otherwise known as T. He also received his CSP at Influence 17. So you'll see all the power players. This is my chapter, NSA New England. We had a meet and greet. And let me tell you how things work out. Before this started, I was I'm the vice president of new membership and of new recruits and membership. And so I was getting things set up for this event from my perspective. Other people had other things to do. And I ran into Carolyn Strauss, and this is Carolyn's picture here. See if I can go there. There she is. Carolyn was on her laptop, and she was on a software program called BombBomb. I know it's a crazy name. I know that. BOMB. But it is an opportunity for you to do quick videos that you can send out to your clients, to your prospects, to people you want to connect with. And I learned about that from Carolyn Strauss. So now I've signed up for BombBomb, and I'm sending them out and specifically targeting those prospects that I'm trying to pull on board specifically from LinkedIn. So that's the kind of contacts that you can make as a result of being at Influence. So again, lots of pictures here. This was my roommate who I met, Lee Wang, who was just a great roommate. And so there are pictures there of her. And so again, you get the drift. And we went to Epcot afterwards. So everything was over on Tuesday, and then we had a chance to go to Epcot. So check out those pictures. Would love to get your feedback. And so again, there are lots of things going on. So that's how we're going to open up. You've seen the pictures. So have at it, and let's hear your thoughts about what Influence was like for you. And I guess I will start off with Marquessa, since you were one of our speakers with the breakout session. So Marquessa, take it away.
Wow. Influence is like a family reunion for me because I've gone through so many of them, and I love it. I mean, this year was unique. I got to show up and show off my new body. So of course that was a highlight. I thought I was Beyonce with all my dressing, but I had a good time. I did. Y'all know. But you know what I loved about this year too? I felt every year, and Carol, I don't know if you feel this, I feel like Black NSA becomes more and more cohesive in terms of relationships, in terms of what we stand for. I mean, guys, we had a new logo this year, and so it was good because you can get overwhelmed at this conference. Come on now, and right. It's good to know you got a safe place. So make sure, so I love that I was able to leverage my Black NSA. And yeah, it was freaking me out being a presenter this year, freaking me out. I had the worst room on the planet everything that went wrong, but I think I did okay. I sold quite a bit of my digital programs.
Great.
There, yes. And it was videotaped. So it was some good things, and I even got quoted in a piece that's all over the place from someone I didn't even know they were there. They just showed up, and they quoted Kendra Hall,
Mm-hmm.
who, by the way, guys, check her out. If you do anything related to storytelling, or you just want to up your storytelling skills, which is what I've been doing lately, because I got so into strategy that I forgot to tell the story. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
So between Kendra Hall and Zaku Andrews, who, by the way, both gave me a live Speaker Magazine interview, which I'm going to I'm trying to wait for Speaker Magazine to load it. Once they load it, I'll share it. But if they take too long, I'm just going to put it in the Black NSA group. So I'm playing it by ear. But listening to Kendra Hall, she make me, I mean, we hear people talk about storytelling all the time. But guys, frankly speaking, this woman talks about storytelling on a whole nother level, to the point where everyone knows who Nito Cobain is, right? Yeah, heavy hitter in NSA circles, president of NSA Foundation. I don't know if he's a current or past, president of High Point University, blah, blah, blah. And it's so funny because she really works with CEOs, you know, to help them be more engaging and tell their stories in a better way. So she got up there, she did a huge example with her process, and Nito Cobain happened to follow her, and literally before he get 2 words out, now you know how composed this man is. Before he get out 2 words, he just started laughing because all of a sudden Kendra Hall was in his head. The whole CEO thing, and he just let it go and just became that personable Nito. So that's the kind of impact this woman had on all of us as speakers. My favorite was Zaku Andrews, because he reminded us and told us, you know how you get in the shower and you're singing and you're like, you know, singing all your songs, love, you know, or that's just me. Get in the shower and you put on your shower cap and you're vulnerable. You need to have that same energy in front of your audience. Don't worry about, I'm a keynoter, I'm a trainer, I'm a this, I'm a that. That's irrelevant. The audience could care less. What you're doing, you're there to take them through an experience and to change the way that they think. And he just broke down the process on how to do that. One of the points he gave that made me go, use your whole body. You know how we walk around, we'll use our shoulders and our hands, the typical gestures. Why not use your knees? Why not use your butt? Well, I'm gonna use that one. Why not use other parts of your body to just shock the audience and just get them just on their knees going, tell me, I want more. I mean, I looked around, the audience, because I love to see my fellow speakers and what they're thinking. And women and men were like, and guys, I mean, you should have seen him. He's in the middle of the stage. He's got stage right, stage left. He's moving. I mean, it was digital on steroids, and it just blew my freaking mind. I literally cried because he gave me permission to be myself, and I am crazy. So now I'm going to get even crazier when I get on that platform and just let it all out. And I'm not going to sit up here try to be all professional, but I'm just going to be who I am. And that's what he did for so many of us, especially if you're an artist, you got that background in acting and singing and performing, then he gave you permission to show it all. And, you know, I could go on and on, but I want to take up the whole call. But that's just a piece. You know I can't. That's just a piece of what I got from influence.
Super, super. Before I go any farther, thanks so much, Marquesa, for that great information. Look into your camera. We're going to take a screenshot of everybody. So big smile. All right. Big smile. I'll tell you when. Okay, here we go. Smile. Great. Thank you. All right. Thanks so much. Super. So I want to announce, I'm excited as Marquesa. Next year, many of you, we hear Black NSA, we hear the name, maybe you're new to NSA, maybe you've been around for a while, but and we give the history of how it got started at Influence. And maybe you want to know, okay, well, how did it actually come together? Maybe you hear some names that sort of go by you and you don't know who they really are. Well, I'm excited to announce that the founder of Black NSA, who started all this way back around 1990, 1991, is going to be with us next year. It's already confirmed when we're in Dallas, Texas, and that is the one and only Thelma Wells. Thelma Wells is just a powerhouse in her own right. This woman's really packs stadiums. Now, she can say that she not only has written books and she's a keynote speaker, but she's on the faith-based circuit as we speak. and literally teams up with some of the top speakers in her industry, and they sell out stadiums. That's just how bad she is. And a long time ago, 20 some odd years ago, it was her brainstorm idea to start this great group that we are, this community group that we continue to thrive on. And we have a lot to be thankful for because of Thelma Wells. You can actually Google her, thelmawells.com, learn more about her. We'll be talking more about her participation with our activities. She wants to come to the entire conference with her daughter, Vicki. So we'll give you more information about that later on. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited to announce it to you as well. Now, again, I pointed to you the spiral bound notebook that we had at Influence, and many of us flipped through it along with this woman whose face I'm going to show you right now. And lo and behold, wow, she was the member who recruited the most new members, prospective members to NSA. And it's the Prospective Member Award. It says, and this is Marquita Miller, and she is the first recipient of the Talking NSA Referral Champion Award for referring the most new members in the past year. And this is what she looks like. And I know she's here with us, and I hope she's not muted, because Marquita, take it away.
Where is she? Oh, she's our 2018 Black NSA chair as well.
Awesome.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, how's everyone?
Great.
Hey,
Wonderful. Well, oh my gosh, Influence was amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. It was totally great to connect with so many Black NSA people at the Influence. And so it's nothing like you've worked with everybody, you've done masterminds, then you come face to face with each other there. But I mean, the wealth of information was just unreal. But I went in with the plan. I went in with the strategy that I've been to these events before where you get so much information and you walk away and you're like, what am I going to do with that? And then you end up doing nothing. So I always go in with a couple of strategies. One, what are 3 things that I can do as a result of attending? Who are 3 people that I connect with that I can help, and who are 3 people that I connected with that can help me. And if I do that, the rest is gravy, because they tell you the magic really happens sometimes out of the sessions. And so you have to give yourself time to miss some sessions, which, for concrete people, we're like, no, they're sessions. So you kind of had to stick to you had to come up with a plan for yourself, and that worked well for me from that. So I'm totally excited. Definitely looking forward to next year. Dallas, here we come.
Yay!
So, and it was so great to work with Miss Marquessa and to connect and see her jewelry store. That's a whole nother story. But all right, but that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Thank you so much, and congratulations again for that well-deserved award. And if you don't know Marquita, she has a very successful tax business, financial planning business. And tell us more about your business.
Yep. So I'm located out of Kansas City, Missouri, a full-service accounting firm where we help people to start, grow, and connect their business. Mm-hmm. And so we make sure we take care of those business side of the business. Every business has a business side, and if we don't take care of that, we will be out of business. So yeah, very excited and looking forward to working with everybody and getting to know everybody better.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, up next will be Shirley T. We're going to have her up, and also Willie Price will be here as well. Will be up. Ed, were you at Influence also?
I was not. I had multiple bookings.
Okay.
Just didn't make any sense. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. And with our others who have joined us, I want to bring somebody on right now who's very special, who can also give us a real sense of the early days of Black NSA. So I want to bring her on. But who else attended Influence besides us? Nimi, is it Nimi?
Yes.
All right. I'm glad that you're with us. Yes, I can. Were you at Influence as well?
Oh, no. So I just joined NSA. I just became a professional member of NSA.
Yay! Welcome.
Yes.
Glad to have you. Well,
Uh,
welcome. Glad to have you. Wayne and Gina is with us as well. And Shamika, if you have any comments to make, and if you were at Influence, I'm apologizing in advance if I don't want to overlook anybody. So we'll definitely hear from you. But I want to bring on a friend and a colleague who goes way back in the days, early with Black NSA and the National Speakers Association from Texas. Tracy Brown. Tracy, you are muted now. Can you unmute yourself and say hello? Tracy, can you speak to us now? Tracy, there she is. Hi, Tracy.
So much for being incognito. Huh? So I really can't speak long. I'm having a health issue actually that is affecting my voice. But I just wanted to drop in and hear what everybody got from Influence. And I cannot wait for you all to be in my hometown of Dallas next year.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, Tracy. We'll be there and give you a big hug, too. Thank you. All right. Thank you much. All righty. Well, Willie Price, tell us about Influence and introduce yourself also.
Hello, everybody. My name is Willie Price. Willie A. Price Speaks is my company. I'm in Niagara Falls, New York. And I just came into NSA in January. I became a member in January, and I thought that was going to be exciting. And then next thing you know, I get an email to join the Black NSA. And then I thought that was going to be exciting. And then I went to Influence and got a chance to meet everybody from Black NSA and some of the other people who I had been meeting during my time with Black NSA over the Facebook page. And it was just overwhelming to me. I made so many connections. And one of my biggest connections was with Candace Fitzpatrick, who does the Core Clarity program. She saw my name tag and ran up to me and said, "I have your analysis card." And so when she ran up to me, I said, "Oh," I'm looking at it, I'm like, "Okay, what are you talking about? What analysis card?" You know, what the card was. And when she pulled it out, I realized who she was. And we sat down. This was during the lunch period. And we sat down and she was talking to me about what I was doing. I was trying to find out more about Core Clarity. And 3 hours later, we came up with a collaboration where she's going to be joining me in some of my programs here in Western New York, working with the schools and colleges to implement Core Clarity into the Western New York schools and programs. And as a matter of fact, I just contracted 2 contracts Monday to do the programs with Core Clarity and with my programs for the next 30 weeks, starting in October. And then the same agency just contacted me today to do another 4 to 12-week program, again, using Core Clarity, and another program that I do, and Think and Grow Rich, as a matter of fact, part of Think and Grow Rich concept. So we're going to be doing that from 4 to 12 weeks with this program also. So that was like the highlight. Well, that was one of the biggest highlights. The biggest highlight was actually when I was asked to be a part of the Black NSA board. So that really ended my time at the Influence Conference on a high. And so when I came home, I was just really reeling. I was really excited. I'm already looking forward to going to Baltimore and then to Texas. I do plan on being there. So like I said, I could go on, like Mark said, I can go on and on forever. But I mean, I didn't expect what happened, but when it happened, it was just great. It was great.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Congratulations, too, for being on board, being on the board, and we expect great things out of you, too. And look at the connections that you made with Candace.
Yes.
Because of Mastermind Group, but because she was there and she gave you that card, the laminated card, and one thing led to another, and it turned into business. That's the beauty of coming to these conferences, definitely. Now, I want to take another screenshot because Tracy Brown is with us. So, again, big smile, everybody. Big cheese. I'm going to probably take 2 shots here so I can get everyone. This is the first one, and hold that smile. Look into the camera. Here we go. Got it. Thank you. All right. Thanks so much. Well, let's turn now to Shirley T. Burke, the newly minted author and who sits on piano benches. Tell them about that piano bench. You got to tell them about the piano bench. Shirley Burke, take it away.
Yes, good evening, everyone. And it was wonderful being able to put my hands on those of you that I've been seeing online. I think it made such a difference this year because of having the mastermind. I had more confidence, and I'm a confidence coach. You know, I had more confidence to be open. Carol them asked me about going up to the 20th floor. My hip was hurting, my leg was hurting, and Carol said, "No, we'll help you." Child, I went up to that 20th floor, and it was happening up there. You hear me?
And this was the suite. This was the two-floor presidential suite of National President Dr. Malador.
Yes,
John Malador.
Yes, and this country woman sat on the piano bench because that was what was in front of the door. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? I'm a country woman. I had to be near that door because somebody made a comment to me when we first went in, and it was a wonderful thing. I had to tell them that I was supposed to be there. You know, I was there by invitation. But it was interesting to see what goes on. This isn't the first time they did something like that. But it's the first time I attended anything up there like that at the conference. Mm-hmm. And so the boardroom and that piano seat, because the piano was right in front of the door, I don't know how many, there's 3,000 square feet downstairs. And he said, "Shirley, y'all look, where is everybody? 3,000 square feet, everybody was in the kitchen. Except
right. That's right.
So we had wonderful conversations with people, a variety of people. And let me tell you, it still matters that we show up in places. Mm-hmm. You hear me? It is still important that we show up in places, whether if you want to or not. It's important. So I want to thank those of you that helped me and got there. And it was a wonderful experience. I've written some of y'all too. This week I got a request from the president to be a friend online, and I heard him click confirm in case he changed his mind. But I have to say, in the bathroom, in the hallway, and at lunch, I had so many contacts. I have been getting emails from those people. With Gina Carr and Karen, I'm working with them on something because part of what my issues have been in pain. Pain wears you down. So I'm working with Gina on losing weight. So hopefully I won't have surgery. If I lose weight, I'll some more weight. Mm-hmm. Hopefully my pain will get down, and that's a big thing for me. Mm-hmm. That's a big thing for me because when you're in pain, you're not at your best. Mm-hmm. So, and that's part of what I'm here for on earth is to do and to share. So I'm known as a keep it real woman, and that's part of keeping it real and being open. Mm-hmm. But I encourage those of you that didn't go to please go. And again, it helps because we are part of this community right here. Mm-hmm. It's a big deal because of that. And people did respect that presentation that I'm going to say we put on, but the work was done by a whole lot of other people. Mm-hmm. People showed up there, and the white people appreciated what was going on too. Mm-hmm. They attended. So I'm going to shut up right there.
Oh, that's great. That is great. I can just see, and you can see Shirley T on the piano bench when you see those pictures at my website. You will see her there. She is definitely there.
Yes, the President's Suite.
That's great. I thank you so much. I want to talk quickly about this woman who was part of the headline main stage. It was the thing I liked about this conference is that they weren't afraid, the powers to be, including Dr. Malador and the both general co-chairs of the conference, they weren't afraid to bring speakers on who didn't necessarily fit the main track. They brought speakers on who pushed the envelope, and that's what I really like. The last speaker that Marquess is talking about, some of the other speakers, and one of them who pushed the envelope was this woman. This is her book, Yasmin Abdel Majid, and she is a powerhouse. Now, she hung out with us with Black NSA, right? She was there. All week. She took pictures with us. She is a Sudanese-born Muslim And at the age of 2 years old, her parents moved to Australia. So she has an Aussie accent, but her background is Sudanese. And this is the first time that I have seen a very proud Muslim woman undress on stage. She literally took her hijab off, her scarf off. She had her head covered. It was, you did not see her hair, but she took her scarves off and she demonstrated the versatility of her life. She's an engineer, she's a writer, and she's a very somewhat controversial figure in Australia because of some things that she has said. She has been edgy with the Australian government in making some of the comments. And so you can go online on YouTube and see what other people on the very far right conservative side are saying about her. But she also has a very powerful TED talk that she also gave to us at the conference, just about her versatility as a woman of color, as a brown woman, as she calls herself, as a woman with dual nationality, Sudan and Australia, a Muslim woman. And she integrated all of those kind of concepts into the feelings and the attitudes that she wants people to have about her, and as it relates to unconscious bias. Now, the beauty for me is that I've been in the diversity space for 30 years, and I'm giving 3 presentations for a television network this week, all on unconscious bias. And because I met her and talked with her and got her card and heard her presentation at Influence, I then went on to YouTube and then pulled up her TED Talk, which is very similar to what she talked about in Orlando. And I'm going to use that with the managers of this television network on Wednesday because I met her at Influence. I probably would have never pulled up her video, but she illustrated the point so well that I've already talked to the people that I'm working with to let them know that I'm going to play this video, and the way she sort of wove in her versatility. She likes, I think, to ride motorcycles. Was that it? She likes to ride motorcycles, and she was an engineer for Shell Oil Company. She's had a television program, and so all of that was who she is. And that's the beauty of it. And it just talks about not just looking at someone and judging them for what you think they are. And as a Muslim woman, she also has 2 videos on YouTube where she shows you how to wrap, how you can use this to wrap your own scarves if you'd like, or wrap your headdress. So she sort of dissects and breaks down the fear factor that some people may have about being a Muslim, connecting with Muslims, and how Muslims are very versatile in today's way of life. So that I learned from Influence. Let me just go around and ask those who attended, can you share with us what was an aha moment for you? Marquessa, let me come back to you and unmute you and tell you, what was an aha moment for you at Influence?
Well, Zeku, of course, just changed my world. Oh my goodness. There were a lot. I guess I keep going back to him because I can't really remember everyone. Oh, you know what? Kelly Swanson. She did a breakout session. And it's so interesting because there was mixed feedback on her session, which there often is. You know how that goes. Mm-hmm. There were mixed feedback on my session too. And it was so interesting because I don't know if any of you guys ever feel sometimes like you're constricted with PowerPoint. You spend hours creating it, right? And you're like, I got this. And so I got a new brand and I'm using Canva to kind of create it. Well, you can't always predict what screen is going to be on. And they had all these new screens here. So it didn't look good on mine. I'm talking about mine. So anyway, when I went to Kelly Swanson, who's super creative, probably more creative than I am, and she's a great storyteller. Storytelling is her thing. But I went to her session because her title was structuring the keynote, something like that. I just felt like I just needed some more help on not getting scattered and being more focused. And so I said, I'm going to go to someone who's just as creative and scattered as I am. I'm going to see what she got to say. So I went to her session, listened to her. Didn't even use the keynote, didn't even use the PowerPoint. She had her book open and she just let it flow, guys. And my opinion, I got so much from her because first of all, it's like, see, everyone just can't do PowerPoint. It constricts them. They have a plan, but I tend to change my mind as I go. So to your question, Carol, I really felt like watching her again gave me permission to mix it up. I don't care if I do a 10, 15 slide keynote. I mean, 15 slide presentation. If it doesn't work at that moment, then let it go. And then use images instead of all the bullet points because you may not want to go in that direction at that moment.
Right.
It's okay to change your mind, shift, feel the audience, do all those pieces. And Kelly just reminded me that it's really about the story. It's really about making sure that the person understands what they need to do with that information and they're equally inspired with that information. And, you know, some people were fans of it, some people weren't, but I was truly a fan. And I mean, it's so funny. I went to the bookstore right afterwards and guys, her books were just getting, you know, everyone was taking them. It was crazy how many books she sold. And then I got one as well. But that was what for me, I think this conference really elevated me on another level as a presenter.
Great. That's great. Thank you so much for that. And again, it's always a matter of interpretation. You can go to a breakout session and it could just wow you like Marquesa is talking about, and somebody else, it may be, well, that wasn't really for me. So you have to go and, you know, get out of it the experience that is best for you and best for your business instead of always relying on second and third and fourth hand information. And even people who don't even have any connection with the person who was actually giving the breakout session, yet they have an opinion about it. I want to take you back. We're going to screen share again because I want to give you some of the numbers that were discussed with John Molidor, our president. So let me go up here and pull this. Let me see. Hang on one second, guys. I'm going to pull this the screen share that I have. No, that's not it. I pulled up, I'm back at my website, and I wanted to pull up some of the numbers that John Molidor had talked about. So I'm going to go to, okay, let's go there. This is not what I'm looking for. Can you see numbers here? Can you see NSA by the numbers?
Yep.
Good. Okay. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
All right, good. So what Molidor, Dr. John Molidor is now the immediate past president of NSA, and I thought this may be helpful to you. Let me go back. He was receiving an award, and this was I believe, the Global Speakers Summit president. Is that right, Marquesa? Gentleman from Canada who is shaking his hand right here in this picture. Am I correct in that? Marquesa, you must be muted.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me just move ahead and just let me pull this next slide up. Okay. So he talked about NSA by the numbers, and that's it. The organization, the total amount that we brought in for for the last fiscal year is about $4 million. We're about a $4 million organization. I'm not sure about the 53,000. Oh, there are 53,000 professional speakers in the universe. And the National Speakers Association has about 3,600 speakers. So that was that. We had a little deficit, and we used the investment returns that NSA has. NSA is a pretty conservative organization. And you don't, unlike some organizations that I've been a part of, where they pay for board members, they pay for certain people to come to conferences, and they pick up all your expenses. NSA does not do that. You pay for all your expenses, and that's your investment. And so they plan accordingly. They plan for shortfalls, and they are very prudent with their money. And so they used the investment returns that they had on hand to balance the budget so that we did not have a budget that was unbalanced. So that was the point that he was making there. We currently are our longtime president and executive president and CEO, Stacy Techner, has moved on to the American Bus Association. He was with us for 25 years.
Wow.
And yeah, he's now gone and has a really good position. He was with us for a couple of days for the conference, and they celebrated his achievements. And now he's gone on. And now we have an interim president who is with us, whose name escapes me. Please forgive me for that.
Last name Smith. His last name is Smith, I think.
I'm not sure if it's Smith.
Chris
Packard. Chris Packard is his name. Chris Packard. Thank you so much, Shirley. Thank you. Chris Packard is professionally goes to organizations as an interim CEO and sort of minds the fort, manages everything until a new executive CEO is brought on board. And so that's the position that we're in now. So Chris was actually at the conference, is a really good guy, and came to Black NSA also, and spoke at Black NSA. That's just how committed he is. So there's currently a transition committee. And one of the committee members is Barry Banther. He is a real supporter of Black NSA. He and others are on this committee to find the next president and CEO of the National Speakers Association. It's about a 9-month process. And so hopefully by the next conference, we will have a new president and CEO. Also, Dr. Maladar said that there are 50 speakers who don't even know about the National Speakers Association. So that's why we're taking it upon ourselves to let people know about who we are. And it's especially true for Black NSA because we all know ministers, we know teachers, we know attorneys, where a significant amount of their income is generated from them speaking. And they can qualify to become members of the National Speakers Association. So we talked about this during our strategic plan on Wednesday about how we can be catalysts for change and how we can bring in new people in our communities, in our networks, to become members of the National Speakers Association. That's pretty exciting. Also, we need 3,900 to 4,000 speakers to be healthy financially. And again, when you go back, we're around 3,600. That's what this number is all about. So there is an ongoing effort to bring in new members within our organization. Now, the one thing I have to give Dr. Maladar high props for, last year, there was an undercurrent that the national board was very white and did not have people of color in large represented numbers. Now, we've had as many as 2 NSA members of color to be on the board at the same time. And Lenora Billings Harris, who is a past national president and also one of the first advocates for Black NSA, told us that dynamic, where when she was on the board before she became president, she was appointed to the board, and then she ultimately was elected to the board. And at that time, Willie Jolly, who was very dear to us, was elected to the board. So she was appointed while Willie was an elected member. So that's a differentiation. This year, this conference, we have, and they are now installed, 3 African-American women elected to the board of directors of NSA. That's important for you all to know, 3 of them. And I thought Verna Ford was going to be on this call, but she probably had something else to do. I'm not sure if she is on now. But again, that's how, if you say something, if you voice concerns, if you get involved, and you have people like John Malador and others like that, they will hear the importance of diversity and multiculturalism and the importance of Black NSA, and they will take heed, and action takes place. So I'm very happy about that. They're also looking, yes.
One quick thing I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
We really have to thank Black NSA for making that happen, because previous years, there was really no people of color on the board, and we made a ruckus out of it. I know I was one of the main people.
Mhm.
And so we took it up on ourselves to flood them with as many, you know, people of color applying for board positions as possible. I was asked to do it. I turned it down. And there were tons of them. So that is really what was the fire starter that got Black folks on that board. It was
Great.
Black NSA taking it up on themselves.
Right.
There was a lot of folks, including myself, Lenore Billings Harris, you name it, that said, and Carol, you were there too, that said, we are going to make sure that there's a change. So although there's a special thanks to others, but it was Black NSA that kicked that off.
Well, Black NSA is a very important force and a very important voice with the National Speakers Association. And just because of the programming that we have, the leadership team that we have, all of that, they're huge factors, very important factors in terms of why these things take place. And in all due respect, we've had Ed Robinson on the board of directors, we've had Francine Ward on the board of directors, but typically it's just one at a time. I don't think we've ever had, in the 22 years that I've been a part of this organization, never had 3 people on the board at the same time. So that's really exciting. And I would say reach out to Varna Ford and also Carpenter, first Casey Carpenter and Dr. Shirley Davis. Those are the 3 board members, national board members, and women of color. And we thank Black NSA and all the powers to be that made that happen. Now, there's also a big push to have more CSPs. We're probably going to devote more time with some of our other programs about how to become a CSP. Marquessa is a CSP. Ed Tate is on this call, is on this webinar. He is a CSP. The goal is to have 21% of the membership in NSA to become certified speaking professionals. That's a big, big push in terms of what the national leadership is all about. So again, he also gave numbers in terms of the average age in the United States is 43. The average age in the National Speakers Association is 56. So we tend to skew older in terms of our numbers. This tends to be a second career for a lot of people, and lots have, again, multiple streams of income, of which speaking is that. So I wanted to show those to you. And again, these are all, this is under the general session, closing session. Sekou Andrew, there are pictures of him here as well. So you can check all that out when you actually go to my website. So let's open it up for questions now. Any questions that you have, anything that we missed? Again, we just touched on the highlights, but wanted to give you a sense of what did take place. Again, we went to Epcot Center on Tuesday afternoon. That was an awful lot of fun. Saw the fireworks. And let me also say that next year, between now and next year, do what you can to improve your technology skills so that you are as technologically proficient as possible. And here's why. It makes a big difference to people back home when you can go and either shoot live video or do Facebook Live. Facebook Live now is really powerful and really big. And what I did was I shot at least 1 or 2 videos Facebook Live while I was at the conference. I also did it out at Epcot Center and shot all the fireworks. Because when you come back home, people will have a better sense of where you've been. Instead of you saying, oh, I had a great time at my conference, we had a wonderful time. Well, maybe you can shoot 30 seconds or 45 seconds or a minute of video on your phone. Just use your phone and talk about the conference from your perspective to your friends and your colleagues back home. And then you can post that video, if you actually do video, live video, you can upload it live to Facebook and Twitter, a certain length on Twitter, and you can upload it to your YouTube channel and then link it to LinkedIn so that people really get a sense of what you're doing. So don't wait until Influence 18 if you're going to any of the winter workshops or any of the other special meetings. And certainly when you're speaking or if you're at a conference, definitely do some Facebook Lives and let people know, bring them to your event. It's an exciting way instead of just always talking about it. So questions, we have about 15, 20 minutes or so for a Q&A, and have at it about Black NSA, about influence, about the National Speakers Association. We'd love to have your questions. But before we do that, I would be remiss if I didn't have Ed to introduce himself, because he is a CSP. Even though he wasn't at this conference, he's been at other conferences, and he can share a little bit about himself and his very successful business. Ed Tate.
Well, thank you. I wasn't expecting to speak. Ed Tate, certified speaking professional, member of NSA for 17 years. And I think one of the keys to my longevity is one of the things that was talked about here on this call, and that is having multiple streams of income. Unfortunately, in 2007, I had one stream of income, and that was a keynoter. And I lost two of my largest accounts in the span of 10 days. I lost a $500,000 business. So can you imagine having to start all over again in the worst economic crisis of our lifetime? And what I learned then is that, it's not the economy, it's your economy. And you got to take care of your economy. Don't pay attention to what's in the newspapers. For example, for me, one of my sales coaches reminded me that there's a certain account that I've targeted, and we figure out it's probably going to take me 250 phone calls to get through to that account. I'm down for it. I'm strong. I'm gonna do whatever it takes in order for me to achieve my goals, etc. So, have multiple streams of income, not just one, not just two, not even five. I coach a lot of people one-on-one, and there's a couple things which are startling. Number one, everyone's got a business plan, but very few people have a marketing plan. Marketing plan is how you're going to get business today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next quarter, next year. How are you going to market yourself on a daily basis? And the thing I'm inviting you to do is, there's plenty of expertise here, so I'm not pushing my wares. I'm inviting you to, again, get yourself a marketing plan. How are you going to get your business done this month? How are you going to get it done next month, next quarter, etc. I've got daily goals. I've got weekly goals. I've got monthly goals. I got quarterly goals. It's not that important that I don't hit the daily goals, and sometimes it's not that important I don't hit the weekly goals. But at the end of the month, I better hit that number some way or another. So that's how I'm wired. I think that's one of the keys to my success, reaching out to people in this business. Again, it's all about relationships. You cannot, I heard this quote once, and I can't, forgive me, I don't have the proper attribution, but you can't do anything great by yourself. There's no great achievement without the help of other people. And you must reach out to other people. You must get help from other people, and also be a giver. Just don't be a taker. So, Carol, sometimes I think I get paid by the word, so I'm going to just cut myself off right here.
Now, you've been to many other conferences.
Yes.
Share with us why you've gone, why you continue to go, and just very quickly, why did you want to become a CSP?
Oh, great question. Let's see. I believe it was Marquita, and I love her advice. I wrote this down. You must go there with a plan. You must go there with a plan, because it's so easy to become overwhelmed. So in the early half of my career, I wanted to get better on the platform. So I'm going to say the first 5 or 6 years, I was always looking for platform mechanics. Then the economic crisis of 2007 hit. And then I went on this 5-year run of, how can I actually improve my business? How can I diversify, et cetera? So have a plan. I went to one session, and this one session actually saved my business. And the speaker who gave it escapes me right now. I'll remember a little bit later on. But it was basically on how to start your own coaching business. So again, keep in mind, 10 days, overnight, I've lost my keynote business. I've only got the one pony, as we talked about in the previous call. What am I going to do next? Well, people kept approaching me, asking me for coaching advice. And I'm thinking, I'm not a freaking coach. But I went to this one NSA session. I got that guy's handout. I followed it verbatim. And today, coaching is at least 20% of my business.
Wow.
Coaching it's a lucrative part of my business. I only coach CEOs. Can we talk about fees here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I charge CEOs $20,000 to $25,000 for coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that type of, income, I don't have to worry about the economy. Does that make sense? And
Yes.
I don't do a lot of, I coaching takes up a lot of time too. It's very, very intense. So you have to decide what type of business that you want. Okay. So why did I decide to become a CSP? First of all, I should have been a CSP significantly sooner. And to be perfectly frank, I didn't get the paperwork done because I looked at it the same way I look at taxes. And thank God for e-speakers, because you have to have e-speakers. E-speakers, you literally just push a button and you are done. It just makes it so much easier for you. Also, if you don't have e-speakers, I had a virtual assistant, and I just assigned that to her. And again, she got all the paperwork together, and I was able to do it. And my biggest regret is I didn't get it sooner. I became a CSP after being in the business for 9 years. I should have got it after my first 5, to be perfectly frank with you. It separates you. What it does for you is it separates you from the pack. But you have to market this. You have to sell it. Outside of NSA, no one has a bloody clue as to what a CSP means. They don't even know what a Hall of Fame speaker is. But it is a way of keeping you in the pack. Prior to being a CSP, I was always trying to, make it into the finals. After I became a CSP, I was always in the finals, and it was up to me to see if I could actually, get the speaking gig. So it's a way of separating me from the pack. I've won the World Championship of Public Speaking for Toastmasters International. I use that as a leverage to separate myself from the pack. So what is it? What is it about your game that separates you from the pack? What is it that can? And it's not about you. It's about your client. How can you improve your client's condition? How can you make him or her better, or that organization better as a result of doing business with you? So my emphasis is always on the client. It's always on the customer. And that's what being a CSP has done for me. It separates me from the pack.
Awesome. Woo! Wow, that's golden.
Carol, one quick note I want to make with Ed, which sounded so good what he said. In terms of the CSP and people outside of NSA, it's like any other marketing strategy. You've got to educate your audience on what it means. Just like you educate your audience on why should they care that you're an expert, or you wrote a book. Nobody cares, but you have to sell it to them. You have to position it. CSP is no different. So if you just get it and you hold it, and yeah, it works wonders inside the circles, but you got to work it inside as well as outside. So as I tell everyone, it's all about how you position it. I know for a fact, I'm speaking at SHRM East Coast in October.
Great.
And do you know they specifically look for CSPs? So their keynotes and their breakouts, 80% are CSPs. So people do know about us in the SHRM and in the MPI circles, guys. You just got to market it. So I just wanted to add that note.
That's great. That is great. Super. So, questions?
I had a question.
Yes.
All right, my name is Chris, and since I literally just joined NSA 2 weeks ago, I think I went to the local Houston chapter. Marquesa came out, so I really like what she was talking about as far as marketing the business. Any advice if you just joined? Since I just joined, like how to go about? Should I just continue to attend the meetings, or what do you think?
Let me start off with that. For me, first of all, you always have to be mindful of your business. So you don't want to become such a joiner that your business goes under. But with that said, you can take advantage of all the opportunities that the Houston chapter has for you in terms of the meetings, in terms of volunteer activities, and in terms of connections. And this is why, because there are people in your local chapter who are connected to clients that you may be going after. They're connected to other speakers. They're connected to speakers within NSA, and knowing that you have you go to the meetings, that you attend the local meetings, that you participate along with the NSA meetings, that then builds your brand and your image to other people, so that if somebody is asking about Chris, is it? If they're asking about Chris, somebody else will, in your chapter will say, oh yeah, I know him. Boy, he's a great guy, great speaker. He participated with our showcase, and he really has a leadership tendency that works well for us. So your reputation, a lot of people say, oh, I'm not going to worry about the local chapter, or I'm not going to go to the meetings and stuff. You're cutting yourself off because you don't know who knows you, and you don't know who they know, where you can get business because of your volunteerism, because of your leadership qualities, and because you participate and you give.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shirley? Yeah.
Yeah, that is so true, because I was the president of the Virginia's chapter. And last year, Rochelle, who was our CSC, asked me to sit at that table. Hey, I'm Virginia. This year, she asked me would I co-host a table. I wouldn't, if it matters, because she worked with me. And also one thing she said too, Mr. West, was that when you participate in local activities, it should be to help your business. When you volunteer to be the president, I learned how to do surveys because I was the president. It should be something that helps us in our business.
Right.
Participate too in your local NSA meetings.
So true. So true.
Matters.
I keep track of where my business comes from, and I've had as high as 19% of my revenues come from my association with chapter members. So there's a financial reason why you should do this as well.
Okay. Awesome.
So true. So true. So again, it's that balance. It's you want to give, you want to volunteer, you want to be a good leader, but you have to look out for your own bottom line and how best to do it then with NSA and with your local chapter. Great. Yes. Other questions?
Were there any other trends? I mean, you talked about diversifying your portfolio in terms of speaking and things of that nature. Were there any other trends or things that stood out that were hot in terms of us expanding our reach in terms of speakers?
From Influence 17?
Yes. And that's a question open to all the attendees. Was there a session that you saw? Was there something that was different, cutting edge? Were there any trends?
Oh, yes. Okay. Video is big. Yeah. And Chris West was there. He actually recorded Marquesa, but he recorded some other sessions, and he delivered a session. So the impact of video is being felt, and now SEOs are picking up on videos. Also, Darren LaCroix, and I mentioned him because he also was one of the top Toastmasters. I remember Darren LaCroix 22 years ago when he was a kid working for Bose and literally speaking part-time. And now he is really big in the industry. I remember him 22 years ago. But part of why he's big now is that he's doing an awful lot on YouTube. So he has mastered YouTube. Mastered it in terms of getting viewership. So the recordings are available via MP3. You can check with NSA, and they sent us an email today, but you can check with them in terms of how you can get it. But if I were to listen to anything, I would definitely go to YouTube and go to Darren LaCroix's channel, so that you can learn about how you can use YouTube and use video in your business. There's another person that's not even related to NSA, and I'll put his name in the chat room, who's also very big. His name is Roberto Blake. Roberto Blake is his name. I think he's out of New York, Marquesa. He has 245,000 subscribers on YouTube. Wow. Between 2009, he's a man of color. Between 2009 and 2013, he was just hit and missing YouTube. But then he took it seriously, Marquesa. Marquita, I'm thinking about you and having a plan. He took it seriously and then organically grew his subscribership. And he explains it on YouTube. So these are the kind of YouTube channels and people I would pay attention to. Roberto is not connected to NSA. I'd like to have him invited because he explains everything. He's not making stuff up. and he goes granular in terms of how to do things. And he has 45 and 50,000 people who listen to each one of his clips on various topics. But Darren LaCroix is also someone to talk about. So I would say video is big. Video is much bigger now than it has been in the past.
Carol, I'd love to weigh in on that question.
Yeah.
It's really individualizing your speaker platform. There's no such thing anymore as just being a keynote. Now, there may be a handful of people, but even they're realizing that if I just stay in this space, all could change. What if my body can no longer get on a plane? So whether it's virtual speaking, which is what I talked about, or leveraging video and building an academy or whatever it is, it's really individualizing your platform. Stop putting the title on your head as I'm just a keynote, I'm just a breakout, I'm just this, I'm just that. Instead, sit down and go with, all right, what magic can I bring to my audience? And what are the different ways I want to bring that magic? And how many ways can I diversify my income as I bring that magic? So this year, it was so many different ways that people make their money. How they make their money, how they run their business, and how they speak and how they diversify their income. It was just, and then I love I don't think we've ever had so many people of color or different nationalities on the stage.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting seeing how everyone delivered, how everyone, now there were some better than others, but it was interesting seeing because there's always the inspirational speakers that come out. There's always the business speakers. So you have the integrity guy, then there's always the NSA superstars, and you got a lot of different things coming out. So just, pertaining to your question, Ed, it was really about where are we now? And are you leveraging the heck out of technology, period? And if so, these are the different ways to do it. So that would be my feedback on trends, kind of, connecting with or adding to what Carol said.
Thank you.
And also going along with Marquessa, we're on the same tune here. There were a number of speakers, and now I'm even doing it because I went last year and I saw it done, and I saw it when it was in Phoenix last year, and now with Influence 17, I've seen it done. And hopefully you're doing it. Constant Contact and some of the other contact management systems will allow you to capture emails via text messages. So what a lot of speakers are doing now, especially headline speakers with large audiences, and they can't send out all the handouts or whatever, what they'll do is that they'll have a lead magnet. Maybe it's an ebook or a special report or something that they're talking about during their presentation. And I saw this done, and what they'll do is they'll say, all I need for you to do is to pull out your smartphone or pull out your mobile phone and text XYZABC, and then give me your email address, and I will then send you this special report or whatever the prize or the freebie happens to be. That's a great way to build your email list. And you can separate out the list. Maybe you don't send them something every month. You can create a drip campaign. But the point is that I've seen it done at NSA very effectively, where people are scrambling to text the speaker, and then you then join the list, or you can get that special product or special item and device, and you build your list at the same time. So seen it done very effectively at NSA, and you can do it as well with your programs that you run. We have time maybe for one more question. I see a lot of heads nodding. That's good. That's a good thing.
Carol, one quick thing I wanted to mention. Later, we're kind of on vacation mode in August because, influence takes the wind out of you. But one thing that we are going to do for the summer is we're going to have a call just on, Black NSA and all the highlights from there, from the winners and all that kind of picture, specific things from what's going on in Black NSA and what did we highlight at the conference and beyond. So we're going to do that call. But we also got a lot of newbies, kind of like the newbie that just spoke a second ago.
Chris, yeah.
Chris. No, his name was Nimi.
But he called himself Chris.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have Robert Kennedy is gonna head up a call about leveraging NSA, but also leveraging Black NSA. So
Great.
that's really our summer plans. It's gonna be low key, you know, and then in the fall, after the team gets together and we kind of create the schedule for upcoming, including the Black NSA Fall Mastermind. So if you're not a member, you want to build those closer relationships, make sure you go to blacknsamastermind.com and join it.
Mm-hmm.
But all of our activities for the fall and beyond will come out in September. But just so you guys know, make sure you're on those calls as well.
Great, super. And if we've mentioned a couple of names, we've dropped some names of NSA members across the country and elsewhere who spoke. There's nothing wrong with you sending them an email or sending them a text message or something. If you want some specific information about XYZ based on whatever they covered during the conference, pick up the phone and call people. That's the one thing I did early on as a new member of NSA, is that I made a point to reach out to people that I wanted to know and I wanted to learn from, instead of just waiting for everything to come to me. And I'll never, ever, ever forget Naomi Rhodey. I actually reached out to her. This was before email. This is 22 years ago. And I think I may have written her, or maybe I sent her some kind of correspondence, and she wrote me back. She's a past national president of the association, Rosita Perez, who's now passed on. She wrote me back. So you'll be surprised if you reach out to some of these key players within the association, they will get back in touch with you. They will not ignore you. You have a specific question, if you want that question answered. This is a great organization where people will share that kind of insight with you. And I'd say just start saving now so that you will be with us next year in Dallas. It's a $2,000 investment for you, but it's an investment. It's a way for you to connect. And if you get 1 or 2 gigs, and certainly if you start coaching people, as Ed had talked about, that'll pay for the trip and the expenses going to the National Speakers Association. So make a point to be there next July in Dallas, Texas. Reach out to us. We're going to stay in touch in terms of Black NSA. And this has been a fun evening for me. I've enjoyed it quite a bit, and I hope it's been very enjoyable for you too. So thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will see you the next turn around. Take care now.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.